this is our thin tube. So the next step we need to do is to make the bottom of our Christmas ornament. And I'm going to go ahead and put our Christmas ornament shape on my work plane, just so you can have that as a reference of what we're trying to do here. So the next step we need is we're going to take one of these boxes. And again, you can either click and drag or click it to pick it up and then click it to put it down. But the first step is it only needs to be 2 millimeters tall. So if I hover over any of these rectangles, it shows me different measurements. The one I want, here's my black cone, which we don't want to click, but the white box underneath it shows me height. And I want to go ahead and squish this down to only be 2 millimeters tall. And there's 2. And then at the same time, we need to make it 60 millimeters wide. And the reason we're doing that is because this thin tube is also 60 millimeters wide, and because the bottom of our shape is lining up with the edges, we want to go ahead and make this 60 wide as well. So we're going to do 60 millimeters here, and if you go too big, again, just grab those edge squares and push it back in until it's 60. And then because of our shape being 60 millimeters tall here, again 60 millimeters, we're going to go ahead and take up half of that space with this shape. This one's a little tricky, so if you need to move the box off of the screen, you can slide it down. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit by hitting the minus sign, or again rolling 2 fingers back on your touchpad. I'm going to grab this bottom black square, and then I'm going to push it down to 30 millimeters tall. So I should have my thin tube, and then I should have my very flat rectangle here. The last step, just to line these up and make things look pretty normal here, is we're going to draw a box. And there's a bunch of ways to do this. This is what the easiest I found is to just start anywhere you want around the shape. And I'm actually just going to draw a very skinny rectangle through both of these boxes. So you can see that it's touching my thin tube and it's touching my box, but not touching my ornament up at the top of my screen. And when I let go, it will select both of those shapes that were touched there. So I should have a big box around both of these. If you mess up and need to redo it again, just go ahead and draw another box. And then our final step for this one will be to go adjust and align. And if you need to zoom out a little more just to see things, the 2 things we care about is that we want it to be centered this way. This is your horizontal centering. So we're going to go ahead and click this bottom middle circle. That just makes sure everything is lined up this way. And then we're also going to go ahead and line it up here at the bottom left. So if I click this bottom left box, then it should look very much like the shape of my screen. If you need to double check, you can click down here at the corner or just hover over it and it'll say aligned and also aligned. So your shape right now, we're going to go ahead and just click on the work plane because we're done for the moment. That's what our shape should look like. Okay, so you have your red box. You can still see that thin tube coming through the middle. Our final step is we're going to draw one more box through the middle, and then we are going to come back up to the top and click the group button to make one solid shape. And I know it looks a little funny compared to our actual ornament, but we'll take care of that in the next step.